what has he done to round it out and really say, I belong on this line?
Well, he's feeding off the other two. And what he needs to figure out is how can he generate offense for himself. I think Charlie Coyle understands how he's going to generate offense. He's a puck possession guy, right, Fluto, and he attacks. Craig Smith knows he's a volume shooter, so Freddie has to figure out. And Freddie has a really good shot, and I don't think people notice that. His release is excellent. So today, even though he got 3 assists, he shot off the rush a couple times, which was great. You know, and he made a play to Smitty when they had a clean 3-on-2 for the first goal. So his decision-making tonight coming into the zone or once he had the puck on his stick in a dangerous situation was better. And we've encouraged him to play as much as he can on his forehand, and by that I mean there's not that many guys can make backhand plays all over the ice. There's Crosby, there's Bergeron, you know, there's some guys out there, but in general, and that's what we're trying to preach to him. And that usually involves, you know, putting something to the net on your forehand. So he'll bring the physicality. We know that he can be he's learning to possess pucks better too, Fluto, with that group. So they're spending time in the O-zone. We had a good meeting this morning with them about something they can start building a little more attack mentality. It happened to work tonight. And good for them because, you know, they made a mistake the other night. They've been a really good starting line for us, done a real good job setting the tone, so we don't want to lose that. Don't want to punish them for one decision, and they came through for us.
Just talking about coming off last night where you get such contributions from the fourth line and then you get from the third line tonight. Just talk about, we can say much about this.
Yeah, I think good teams need secondary support. We got, as you said, fourth line, and the D got involved in Anaheim, even though we didn't get points out of it tonight. You know, Coyle's line was excellent, and I thought Hollow's line did some good things too. You need your guys. You know, even Marsh had a few looks, so it was spread out a little more evenly. But we you know, you're not going to lean on your fourth line every night to generate offense. But now our third line comes through, and if that can be a thing that you can get through some games where your top guys aren't going, or you don't get on the power play much or generate on it, then you're going to be dangerous, right? Because I think no matter what, we tend to be a team that keeps the puck out of our net a lot of times. So it's you know, we don't need necessarily this great amount of offense from them, but to pitch in is going to help us a lot, and it has, and that's why our record is what it is. I think this stretch of games because we've got different people involved.
Bruce, you're enjoying a nice road trip right now, but I think dating back to mid-January, I want to say it's 9-3-2 since early January. Is that an emphasis, sort of the turn of the calendar to make sure that wins on the road, how important they were?
First of all, I love your shoes, by the way. I think it's just a product of us being a veteran enough group. We still mix some young guys in there that they understand that our game translates well on the road. You know, we tend to be a patient team. We're, you know, going to play the game in front of us. Enough guys in here, if things start to get a little wobbly, that they can grab the bench, the Bergies of the world, and now McAvoy and Carlo are becoming those guys. So I think it works well for us on the road. We don't have to, you know, put on a show, and we've taken advantage of some teams that have pushed the pace and getting some odd, like tonight, I thought we generated some good odd man rush looks because of our job in the neutral zone, our patience. So I think our guys just understand how to play. As a coach, having trust in 4 lines, which we started to do around the right after the Christmas and COVID break, we found 4 lines that were working for us. So there's not as much worrying about who's going over the boards next for the other team. Let's just roll through, outplay the guys you're against. If it happens to be their first line or their fourth line, you just still got to perform. So I think that's helped us as well.
Smith finishes the last year on your second line, but boy, if you could somehow keep him on your third line and figure out who plays up, what do you think that would mean just for the overall balance?
Well, it takes me back to the playoff, you know, the Coyle and JoJo trade years ago where we had 3 lines going, and offensively our fourth line was built to kill penalties, give us energy. We have that. And now if that line could generate, you know, we become dangerous like that offensively. I think I don't know if it's dangerous defensively would be a term, Fluto, but I think we're always in games because we defend well. Swayman was really good for us tonight early. I thought our second period, I thought we leaned on him a little too much, but that part of our game is in order. And the offensive part, yeah. And right now we are like that, you know, with the lineup the way it is. I know there's, you know, the Jake situation, but for me as a coach, he's in the, you know, as long as he's here, he's in the lineup, and he's going to complement that line. And we're not leaning on one particular trio.
Smith, I think you said talk times, or that's something you just have to see?
Well, I think Smitty is always going to be Smitty. When the puck finds his stick, he tends to want to shoot it. It's what he does best. The attack is more Freddie and Coyle. I think them being a little more going to the net. They've done a good job with puck possession, but let's think about if you shake a check, let's go to the net. Not always worrying about throwing it back to the point. So I think Smitty himself has always been of that mentality. What we've asked him to do a little more, Smitty, maybe is like Bergie does, or pass it. They'll come down the wing and there's not a lot going on, but if they know he's going to throw it from the net, on the net from, say, 45, 50 feet, not a play you're going to score on, but a play you're going to force the D to recover to the front of the net, a play you're going to force the goalie to control the rebound, and if those other guys know that's happening, it's in sync, they're going to the net. And that starts offensive series a lot of times, just by chucking pucks at the goalie, winning a race for the next puck, and now all of a sudden you're into your offensive cycle. So, you know, that's what we've asked Smitty, I guess, for his part, to do a little more of, which he should enjoy because he is a shooter.
I've heard the term start on time a lot. Usually, I think you can go back to the beginning of February, you guys have scored like 14 in the first period, or something like that. How effective have you been? Just kind of trying
Well, it's easier to, you know, play with the lead. I think anybody would tell you that. There's some teams that can get behind, and there's others that can't really chase the game very well. So for us, getting a lead and being comfortable in those one-goal games has always been a culture thing for us. We're fine with it. So if you can get out in front, especially on the road, home crowd sometimes will get antsy. You know, that's when the play opens up. Teams will loosen up. Now all of a sudden a one-goal lead becomes a two-goal lead, et cetera. So that's important for us starting on time. We emphasize it here for a long time. You know, let's get into the game right away. Let's not wait around to see what the other team's going to do. And I think we've been good with that for the most part. And Anaheim the other night, no. You know, but that's the exception, I think.
Thanks, everybody.